It was a lovely morning at the Farquhar sheds. The sun was bright and the sky clear. Percy had just woken up, and as he was being put into steam, he asked his driver a question.
Driver, what's with these whistles for top of Manhattan to be fitted with? They seem to be the same as the old, but maybe with a bit more shine.
Ah, good question, Percy. Well, Sir Tom had ordered for some new engines to test some new types of whistles. From the outside, they don't seem like much, but internally they have two-tone chambers that release different sounds. One is for stations and passenger trains, and another is for trucks and goods depots.
Why did they get replaced? Couldn't we just have two whistles then?
The older whistles were worn and the signalmen complained about how quiet they were. Which is why Sir Tom has trialing these new ones.
Percy chuckled and set off to take his early morning passenger train. Percy had to fetch his own coaches, but he didn't mind, as it gave him time to wonder. As he backed down on the platform, he kept thinking about his new whistle and what it would sound like. Finally, he got the chance to use it and blew it loudly as he was being coupled up to the coaches. Percy blew his whistle for the first time, but the results were shocking. The passengers covered their ears in pain and shouted at Percy and his crew.
Stop that racket now!
Please do, my eardrums are ringing!
Percy blushed in embarrassment and looked down at his buffers until it was time to depart. When he left, he blew his whistle. He tried to do it as quietly as he could, but he couldn't get it to sound proper.
It sure makes some strange sounds.
Percy was making good time and stopped at each station accordingly, but he was getting tired and bored of not being able to try out his new whistle properly. When Percy was finished with his train, he shunted his coaches into the siding and went to the yards to fetch his trucks. On the way through, he saw Thomas dozing in a siding. An idea flew into his funnel.
Perfect. I can blow my whistle and I'll surely give Thomas a fright. I'll get used to it and have some fun.
And then it happened. Percy suddenly blew his whistle long and loud. Thomas woke up in a panic and rushed forward. Thomas's momentum was too great and he couldn't stop, crashing into a line of coal trucks.
Percy, you stupid engine! How could you?
Percy was overcome with emotions.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know this would happen. Honest,
You better be sorry. That load of coal was to refuel the island's coal hoppers. Without it, we all won't be able to move tomorrow. This is a disaster.
He felt awful and silently went to get the breakdown crane. Thomas didn't suffer any major damage, but he was covered in coal dust from footplate to funnel and had to be cleaned for the rest of the day.
I'm really sorry. I didn't know.
I don't want to hear it from you, green caterpillar.
I was just trying to apologize. There's no need for name calling. Please don't let this make you angry.
Leave me alone, Percy. You've done enough.
Toby and Marklin were resting next to Percy. They felt sorry for him, but wanted to avoid further conflict.
Percy, I think you should give him some space and try going to sleep.
So Percy begrudgingly went to sleep. The next day, he was more hesitant to use his whistle. The events of the previous day were still fresh in his mind. He was heading with a load of stone down to the harbor and was puffing to a steady beat. But soon the peaceful moment was spoiled. Rock had fallen off of Toby's stone train and was right on the track. Percy quickly stopped and surveyed the mess.
Oh dear, we need Rocky right away. We don't want any accidents. I'd sure to blame if something went wrong.
Yes, you're right. I'll go phone for help.
Percy agreed and his driver ran away. As Percy was waiting, he heard puffing in the distance. It grew louder and louder until he saw an engine. Marklin!
Stop, Marklin! Stop! Stop!
But Marklin couldn't hear him. Percy was hesitant to use his whistle, but knew he had no other choice. Percy took a deep breath and whistled long and loud. Marklin and his crew heard the whistle, and he braked as hard as he ever had. Everyone shut their eyes and hoped there wouldn't be a crash. Marklin stopped just in time. His coupling was inches away from the pile of stone.
Phew! Thank you, Percy. Thank you. If it not for you, I would be on my side tank right now.
Anytime, Marklin. I'm just glad you're okay.
Later that night, Thomas, Marklin, Percy, and Toby were at Farquhar Sheds. They had a heart-to-heart conversation about the day's events.
Thank you again for saving me, Percy. I really do appreciate it.
No problem, Marklin. I hope everything is better now.
Not everything.
Again, Thomas, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have played that prank on you. It was immature and rather rude.
At first I was, but then I realized that you made a mistake and had the courage to apologize for it. I can't be angry at my best friend for that long.
Thomas, thank you. About the whistle, I wonder...
Look, it's the manager.
Just then the manager walked up to the sheds, for he had come to talk to the engines.
While I'm not pleased with your actions yesterday, Percy, with causing Thomas's crash, I am very pleased with your actions today in saving the Marklin from a nasty accident. As for the new whistles you were given, for now you'll have your old ones back. It seems the passengers don't like how shrill they are, so they'll be sent back for some tinkering.
Thomas winked at Percy, who smiled back.
However, that's not the only reason why I'm here.
Why, sir?
Why, sir?
I'm here to tell you that Sir Topham Hatt approved a bill to extend the railway on the northeast side of Sodor. A new branch line is being constructed, and we need 2 engines from here to help with its construction. I've assigned this job to Percy and Marklin.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The 4 engines were happy to hear the news and talked about it all night. I shan't tell you the details of the project though, as that's a story for another time.